Very good afternoon to all of you. Thanks for joining us here on The Big Story. I'm Afrida Rahman Ali. Well, a major cause of concern has been the increase in consumer prices that has directly now hit the citizens of this country. Just to put things in context, before I get to the new figures that have been announced for essential items, remember that the 1 year of COVID-19 pandemic has pushed 230 million people into poverty in this country, 15% increase in poverty rate in rural India, 20% in urban India. Salaried jobs have fallen by 11 to 12 million due to the second wave. So it is in this context now, let's look at the hike in prices that we are talking about. 58 total fuel hikes this year, 4 cuts this year as well, but 58 hikes. Fuel prices in India are today at an all-time high. Most cities in the country, the prices of petrol and diesel are hovering very close to the 100 rupees mark. In some, of course, it has crossed the 100 rupee mark. WPI inflation has hit an all-time high of 12.94% in May. It earlier touched the double-digit mark of 10.49% in April. So this is the core issue now that we are looking at of inflation figures that has become a major cause of concern. It's the fifth straight month of an uptick in the WPI inflation. Retail inflation at 6.3%, as the RBI says, has breached the comfort level, the comfort zone of 6%. And core inflation, the non-food, non-fuel component, has surged to an 83-month high of 6.5% in May. So what does it all mean? It basically means that now the pocket of the common man is directly hit. It's a triple blow in recent times with the announcements of fuel hike, combined with the LPG price hike, combined with the milk price increase, which is increased by 2 rupees from today. So LPG, for instance, 9th time the prices have been increased since the 1st of March. A total of 25 rupees increased in the latest hike alone. So now we are going to, of course, talk with our experts to understand that is this really the fine balance that the Modi government talks about when it comes to the economy. The justification is for revenue generation, but where is the fine balance? If it is not working in favor of the common man, petrol and diesel prices were anyway supposed to have a cascading effect. Is that what we are seeing now? The impact, the domino effect of the rise in fuel prices. What this would essentially mean is that now the cost of living would go up substantially. For daily sustenance, an Indian citizen will have to shell out more. And that, again, would have serious implications for the economy. Let me welcome my guests on The Big Story this afternoon. Vishwas Pathak, spokesperson of the BJP, and Professor Arun Kumar, who's the chair professor of the Institute of Social Sciences, former professor and chairperson of the Center for Economic Studies and Planning. Good to have you with us, Mr. Pathak and Professor Kumar. Welcome to The Big Story. I want to begin by asking you, Vishwas Pathak, that we have heard all these justifications that I just quoted, whether it is the one to generate revenue, to finance the welfare schemes, whether it is about the onus being on states to reduce the VAT, and this whole argument of fine balance. Where is the fine balance? Today, it's the common man that is hit the hardest.
Yeah, Priti, you're right. Today's times are certainly challenging times for common man as well as for government of India also. Worldwide, this pandemic has really posed lots of challenges in terms of economy, in terms of logistic management, in terms of demand and supply, and opening up of the market. All things are coming together. So because of that, this situation has arisen. However, I am pretty sure that this demand, which has gone up suddenly for the fuel requirement, and because of the production is not to that extent in line with that, prices have gone up. I will recall you in 2018 October, the prices of fuel was 91 rupees per liter, which came down to 72. So there is an automatic system, a systematic way of balancing these prices. So it will come to its natural course. However, there are certain things because of which prices are going up, inflation is going up. And the issue being that our economy is not, economy really disrupted very badly last year. It has gone down to minus 23%, which is now recovering. And with the International Monetary Fund projections, it is going to be highest developing again next year. However, in present situation, yes, there are certain issues in terms of gas cylinder, petrol, and all other things. However, I want to draw with attention, see, this is the very same government under Mr. Modi, since 2014, this government has been adhering to the norms of FRBM, whether it is fiscal deficit, whether it is inflation rate, it was all well within the norms. But this year, it is going to the toss only because of the things which are certainly beyond the control of the government for the time being. However, situation is being under control,
Okay.
and people will certainly get relief.
Vishwas Pathak had to say, and my question to you is simply this, that, can we excuse this situation saying, well, this is an evolving situation, we are in a state of flux. Until last year, the inflation rate, everything was under control, as Mr. Pathak says, but this time around, at this moment, things are quite unsteady and it's beyond the government's control. Do you agree with that?
No, because you see, it's a question of government's priorities. If the government needs to raise more resources, the question is, where should it raise resources from? Should it hit the pocket of the common man by increasing, the price of energy? Because energy goes into price of everything. So it's no doubt true that, the international price of petroleum goods and such like have increased because the economies there, the advanced economies are recovering. China has recovered. There's no doubt true, but also excise duty and VAT in India has gone up very dramatically in the last 1 year. And, petroleum goods are being treated as a cash cow. So that's one issue. Should we do it through that? Because if the inflation rises and the common man's pocket is pinched, then demand will come down. And today we need to accelerate the rate of growth. Now, if the demand comes down, then the rate of growth is not likely to go up as steeply as was expected. Also, you see, as you rightly pointed out, large number of people have lost employment, not only from the middle classes, but also from the unorganized sector. And their pocket is being pinched very badly. So they are in trouble. Their health expenses have risen very dramatically during the last wave, which is actually we are still in the wave. We are still at about 50,000 cases a day. So the second wave is not yet over. And therefore, the problems of health and other things continue. The next point that I want to make is that the unorganized sector is being hit very hard because by definition, unorganized sector does not have DA neutralization, unlike those in the organized sector who have DA neutralization. So if prices rise, their incomes also rise proportionately. But unorganized sector doesn't. So 94% of the population which is poor is suffering very badly. And that's why the data has come that 230 million people have slipped below the poverty line. And if inflation continues like this, then there'll be more people will slip below the poverty line. And these people who slip below the poverty line will suffer even further. So in other words, the question is, what should our priority be? Should we allow this kind of price rise to take place? Yes, there is an international factor, but there is an internal factor. And there, I think we have to be very clear that supply bottlenecks are leading to a lot of speculative activity and to price rise. We saw that during the second wave that, oxygen was selling at a high price, ambulance charges had gone up. So a lot of black incomes are being generated. Businesses are taking advantage of shortages and raising prices more. Otherwise, why is it the case that when demand is down, prices are rising? When the demand is down, prices should not rise. So I think supply bottlenecks and speculative activity and black income generation are also there, and government needs to control that. Government needs to act on the people who are hoarding or who are not allowing supplies to come in, and wherever supplies are short, it should be brought into the thing. So yes, it's true that international prices are rising.
Yes,
but I
so
think
let me put that to Mr. Pathak,
India.
Professor Kumar. I'll come back to you because this is a very significant point that you made about hoarding and profiteering and the internal factors which is well within the control of the government, Mr. Pathak. Nothing much is being done about it. The simple question here is, how are you planning to accelerate demand, since that is the main factor that would give you the growth figures? How will you accelerate growth when your demand is actually on this kind of a trajectory and where more number of people are now slipping below poverty line?
See, I beg to differ to some extent with Honorable Professor. See, in today's newspaper only you must have read that our core sector is growing at 16%. Our power consumption as well as energy consumption, fuel consumption for industrial sector is also going up. Now, international agencies are projecting that our GDP growth will be in the range of 8 to 9% next year. See, we had gone down to minus 23%, but from minus 23%, we recovered to the extent of 1 plus positive, which is like 24 points above. So the activities are happening, demand is growing, there is demand for fuel, there is demand for material, steel, everything. Therefore, you cannot say that without demand, prices are going up. I do not deny that there can be some hoardings for which government will also come very heavily on that. It is not that easy, but demand is going.
Okay.